Hi everybody, my name is Anne. Thanks for tuning into Art on the Creek. I'm happy that you're here with me today in my home studio in Parker, Colorado. Last week or recently we did these blot prints using the Inktense pan paints. Those were so much fun. I'll put a link to that video in the description in case you missed out on that one. It's really fun and very easy to do, and just a really neat way to expand your art portfolio. But today that got me to thinking about how much I like Inktense. So we are going to use the Inktense pencils to draw our seashell today. We're still working on seashells. You guys voted for your top choices, and I thank you very much. We'll go ahead and go through it pretty much in detail today, and we're going to be using the Meeden 100% cotton watercolor paper. And I've got a coupon for you, so we're going to also get into some super granulating paints. I've got some M-gram. Let's just have some fun and see what we can create. Are you ready? Here we go. I'll just show you how I've got this set up. I'm using my iPad as a place for the reference, and I really just love these colors in this shell. There's a lot of neat highlights in there, and I thought granulating watercolors would look really cool with that. So I will put a link to this photo. It's from Unsplash. I'll put a link in the description so you guys can, so you can follow along. But I will be having this up in my line of vision. I don't think I can really include it effectively in yours, and I apologize, but I think that if you have your reference photo, you can print it out, trace it, do whatever you want to do. Let's see here. I wanted to show you what I pulled out today to work with for this piece, because we've got those great purples, pinks, and blues in the shell, and I really like a lot of these. Now, not all of them will lend really well, but for instance, for the sand, I really like these two. These are the Schmincke Horadam super granulating sets. But for the sand, I really like this green in the desert set and the brown and green in the glacier set. And of course, there's this gray down here. So I might use some of those. Up here in the deep sea set, we have a wonderful violet. I really like that one. I also like this indigo. That one's a lot of fun. And then we might get into this galaxy pink. I really like that one. That's got some nice effects for it in the edge of the shell there, and also this one, the brown, the galaxy brown. So those are all really good. This one here might be a nice trick too, the tundra orange and the pink. Just really trying to include some of these wherever I can. And for the bolder colors, I'm really liking this M-gram collection. This is a set of the Desert Southwest colors, and I really like these. We've got quinacridone red, yellow ochre, Indian yellow, mineral violet, and turquoise. I love a good turquoise, and the M-gram set does not disappoint. These are little sets that I got off of Etsy, and I really love all of them. I can link to the shops where I purchased these in case you guys wanted to try some paints. This is a really nice way to do it, because then you don't have to dive in and get a whole bunch right off, because what if you don't like it? So this one here is a half pan size, and these little ones here, if I can get this one out. Nope, I think I'll work on this one here. I'll show these to you. These are sold in little quarter pan sets, and they're so convenient. They're just glued onto a magnetic strip, and they have the corresponding paint numbers there. And if your paint falls out, let me just show you something real quick. If paints fall out, all you have to do is put a tiny bit of water in there, and then put that paint right back in, and then it will end up adhering just fine. So let's get set up, and then we can get going. I will grab my Inktense pencils, and we can start. Where are my Inktense pencils? I've just reorganized my studio, and I can't find any. I'm hopeless, you guys. I'm totally hopeless. Okay, wait, I saw them. Here they are. Let me grab them. I keep my Inktense pencils in this roll here, so let me scoot all of this over. And I will show you how I keep my pencils. I'll link to this too in case this is a storage system that you like. I have to zoom out a little bit so that you can see this. But yeah, the pencils just go in here and they stay in here really nicely. This little flap protects them. If you've never used the Inktense pencils, I really like them. I do recommend them. I like Derwent products. Of course, I paid for everything that you're seeing here with my own money. Nobody's sponsoring me for this video. But I really like Derwent products because they're so easy to use. And they're all professional. Inktense are kind of a neat animal because they're a little bit permanent. They're not entirely permanent, they're a little bit permanent. I think I'm going to draw with one of these, with this pink salmon-y color. What's cool about the Inktense too is that since they're water-soluble media, you can just get a water brush on here and paint with it that way. But we're going to use this like a colored pencil to sketch our drawing. So I've pulled out the shell pink. Let me just scoot these up here. Pull my paper in, and then we'll zoom in so that we're just looking at our paper, which I'm going to do in a vertical orientation, I think. I do want to use washi tape around the border because I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the sand just yet. I was thinking we could do some fun big splatters with water, but this will be really great to show you just how wonderful this paper is. Like I said, it's by Meeden, and I'm sure you've seen reviews on it already. I've done several, and I know just about every artist on YouTube has been approached by Meeden. They did send me this paper as a gift collaboration, and I just wanted to use it again to show you guys in case you're looking for a really affordable, portable paper. Of course, it comes in other sizes. It comes in cold press, which is what I'm using here today, and it also comes in hot press and rough press. So this one is really kind of cool and easy because it's just a butterfly, really. So we're going to just kind of eyeball the middle of our page here. And we're going to come up and draw the shell on this side, a little higher, I think. This connection point here, and then it's going to come down. And that point, that biggest point, there's a V shape here that bisects the shells. So this is going to come down this way, right to about here. And then we want to do the same thing on the other side, which is always a fun challenge. So I think I'm going to use some of this scarlet pink in here just to go ahead and, whoops, I'm going to pull this down a little bit. There we go. Get some of this pink edge in here. I like that. And this side has a lot more pink happening here. There we go. This is fun. We don't need to do a whole lot with this one today. I think the brush that I want to use is a dagger brush. Yes, and I have this one handy. It's a number 10 Coloneo by Da Vinci, and I really like these brushes. There's a lot you can do with them. For instance, let's start by just getting some big splatters of water down. You can use a bigger brush to do this if you like. I just want to get some good splashes going. Kind of have a different idea for this one. There we go. Now let's see. Let's look into something we can do that's really pretty dark. I like this indigo. I think I'll start there. This is the deep sea indigo of the Schmincke Horadam watercolors, and I like that they don't really need a lot of prep to get going again. Let's just start in the middle here with this. Looking for this to be really kind of loose and free. That's why I like putting those drops of water down first, because then you don't really know what's happening. You don't know where it's going to go. Let's get some of this turquoise in here from this M Grams set. I think that's this one here. Yeah, good. That's nice and green. I like that. I'm just going to mix that in with this a little bit, and some down here. There we go. Now let's go over here nope, change my mind. Let's go to one of these pink ones. Let's go into the Galaxy Pink. We'll kind of come around this edge here. This is going to be really fun, really loose, very free. Mix in with that turquoise a bit and create a different shade of purple. Now I want to get kind of a tan going. I think I like this tundra orange. That in here. Go. Now we need a good old purple going into the Galaxy Violet. Kind of blending these all together and getting my shape back here. That center portion. Now, I've lost the white that I wanted to have over here, so I'm just going to come in and blot that up, and look how easily that works on this paper. In fact, this over here should be blotted up just a little. And this came down a little farther than I want. There, now I'll come in with a little more intention now that I know where I'm going with this. This is that Galaxy Violet here. And now I'm going to take the Deep Sea Black and kind of just dot in the middle here. Also going to add that to some of these shadowy areas here. And now for some fun, let's get into this brown here. This is the Glacier Brown. And I'm just going to kind of fill that in here on this lower portion. Not getting all the way close to these shells here. Let's try this brown here. Mix it up a little. Two different browns. Let's go ahead and do an orange. This is the desert set. Get a different tone for the sand in here. And I like how all that's mixing. That looks good. And then over on this side, the sand's a little bit more blue, so I'm going to go into this Glacier Green. There we go. And now we'll add some of that just kind of over here on the left. And that looks like a hot mess, but it won't for long. Let's go ahead and just make sure that we've got all of our little puddles cleaned up so we don't have any back runs, although here that would look kind of cool. Sometimes you don't want cauliflower bloom, sometimes you do. This one, it wouldn't matter too much. And you can see on this paper, let me just show you how great this paper works with granulating pigments. Look at all of that texture we're getting in there. Can you see that? There we go. That is so great. And down here too, we're getting a ton of texture. Hopefully it'll show up in the shell as well. The best way to get this texture to show up is to be patient and to wait for it to dry. But I think what I'm going to do in the interest of time here is I'm going to go ahead and get my heat tool and give this a little dry here. Alrighty, for the next step, what I want to do is to kind of mask over the seashell itself. And I've just got a sheet of tracing paper here. Let me just fold it a little bit smaller, and I'll tear that. You can use a paper towel. You can use whatever you want. That happened to be there, so that's what I'm using. Let me get a brush that I can make some really good blobs with. I think I like this number 12 round. It's a silver black velvet, very juicy, very wet. Let's go back into these the sand colors. First, I'm going to use the brown. I'll just get a lot of paint on that. And we are going to splatter that down. And now I'm going to come into some water. Make those splatters just a little bit bigger. And now I'll do the same thing on the bottom half. Same color. And now we need to go on the sides, and for that one I'm going to go into this green, this desert green. I kind of like that one. Now I really enjoy using these super granulating paints, but really use whatever paint you have on hand. You can achieve this look with so many different paints. I think the main thing is just to protect your area, probably a little bit better than I did when you're splattering, and just really go all out. Have some fun with it. Get some of this green up here. I really like it. There we are. All right. All right, well now we've got our map of where we want this to kind of go. So now I've really zoomed in on the photo, and let's take a look at what we can do with some detail here. Now over on this side, we do have a harder edge of this scarlet color. So we're going to lay down some more of this Inktense pencil like so, and then right about in here it changes, let me scoot these out of the way, to more of a grayish purple. And for that one I really like this plum color, mauve, sorry, it's mauve, mauve. And we'll come up the side here like this, and that's also coming down here a little bit. And then we have some shapes in here when we really look at it. Let me get a dark blue. This one is deep indigo. You know, one of the things that I really enjoy about using these Inktense pencils, as well as any watercolor pencil really, is that you have this opportunity to get this great detail in. My hand is not that steady when it comes to using a brush and painting in small spaces like this. So I really like being able to place this pigment very intentionally and then come back in with a smaller brush and blend it very subtly so that I can get that pigment to stay put in those tight areas. I'm going to get a lighter color even than this. Let's do, what's this one? No, I don't want the yellow. I want it to just be kind of a light tan. I think I like this one. Tan. There you go, tan. And then there's like a Prussian blue or something. This, what's this one here? Peacock blue. This will be nice. Just add a little bit of that up here. All right, and now we're going to go in with a much narrower brush. This time I'm using a silver black velvet. I'm using a number 4. And I'll zoom in on this part. We're just going to blend these in, kind of loosen up that pigment and really get these lines defined here. And we don't want to cover up what we've done with our granulating pigments. We just want to add a little bit of intensity here. So that adds a nice amount of detail there. And now we'll do the same thing on this side. Now it's starting to look like a shell. See, I told you we'd get out of the ugly phase. I always promise you these things. I like how these dissolve so easily. The Inktense, they're just really great to use. You know, I do want a little more separation right here, so let me get this really wet. And we'll blot that off again. There we go. There, that's better. I think I do want to go back into this Tundra Orange is what I used over here, I think. So these Inktense really do mix well with whatever other water media you're using. There we go. Now I'm really happy with that. Now we just need to come back in and add some high highlights, and then we have our next seashell. All right, I see just a little bit in here that I want to make just a touch darker with some of this indigo. There we are. Now I've got this Bleed Proof White by Jacquard. Whatever brand you have works well. Use that one. Whatever highlighter you like to use. I do like using a Bleed Proof White because they tend to be much more opaque. So let's get a good amount in here. And then we're just going to go around here, kind of in a little dotted line. Let me really zoom in on this so you guys can see what I'm doing. Just barely touching the brush, kind of skipping it along there. And let's see, we've kind of got a little bit more up here. And then where we've really got some fun shadows is kind of in here, or highlights, excuse me. So this comes down here a little. Let's see if we can do something about a little bit more of a shadow under there though. And for that, I do want to use the Inktense again. I think this time I'm going to show you a different way to use them. Let's start with this dusky mauve. How do you say it? Like you're mowing the lawn, or an ah sound, mauve? Who knows? I have a palette here that is, I was using it with some other things. Let me just kind of get this cleaned up. And with the Inktense, what we can do is create a little puddle of paint. We could use the M-gram on this too. Actually, I haven't used too much M-gram. Thicken this up a little bit. There we go. There's a shadow right under here. And kind of off to this side. Let's go into that M-gram, the violet. And I'm going to mix this with some of the Glacier Black that we've used. Kind of tone that down a little bit. You can just mix everything together. This is just really so fun. There we are. Now we can have this shadow under here, and I'm trying to be careful not to get it on the highlight area. There a little bit, and then over here too. Now what we want to do, since we don't want that to be a sharp line, I'm just adding some water to it to give that shadow a place to travel. And that, my friends, is going to do it for our second, for one of our seashells. The first one I did was with the SketchBox, and that particular one will be over on the membership panel, full-length tutorial, and this one is here for you guys as a full-length tutorial. I hope you really enjoyed it. I just encourage you to get out whatever supplies you want to use. Just have fun. Creating dimension and shape in something can really be easy if you use the paints and the supplies that make that easier. The Inktense will bring your boldness forward. The highlights are great for the end. You want something that's really opaque. Splatter, have fun. Just really make it your own. All right, let's take the tape off and let's see what this looks like. Now, whenever you're removing washi tape, I definitely recommend to use a heat tool, because no matter how good your paper is, and this is really good paper, you can tear that. And that's something that nobody wants to do. And you can see my washi tape had a little bit of issues right over here where the paint seeped through, but that is an easy peasy fix. Make sure your brush is really clean. We'll go back into our high hiding white, the bleed proof white, sorry, high hiding, that's a wall color term. And we're just going to paint over this a little bit, like so. There we are. Here's another little one down here. Don't want to be too nitpicky about it. There. Now I think we're done. Let me get those little spots dry and then we can sign it. Alrighty friends, there you go. We've painted a seashell using Meeden 100% cotton watercolor paper. We've had a couple of brushes. This was kind of like a throw everything at it, let's just have fun kind of an experiment today, and I hope you really enjoyed it. I will write down all of the supplies that I used in the description below, so that in case you're interested in trying the way that I did this on your own, you'll have those links available. And those are all affiliate links. If you choose to shop from them, I'm always eternally grateful, because that does go to help my channel. But of course you don't have to. Use whatever you have on hand, because that's what makes art fun. All right, you guys, thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye now.